Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Hill, and I'm going to be the social worker leading out this group. I'd like to start off by saying that I'm thankful that you all are here today. You all have spoken with me on the phone a little bit to do kind of the paperwork and stuff to start the group off, but I'm really glad to meet you all in person and to put a face to the names. So I want to start off with saying that we all have the commonality of experiencing anxiety and also a recent diagnosis of cancer. And so my hope is that you all will gain encouragement and support through each other, through the other group members. I want to get off on a positive note with our group and start off with a little exercise. If you all are comfortable doing that, it's a breathing exercise. So if you all will rest your feet and your hands on your lap as you're comfortable, and just kind of feel your body relax and your muscles relax. And then close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, and focus on your breathing. So we're going to take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then release. Okay, and then another deep breath in, hold for a moment, and release. And we're going to do that one more time. A deep breath, hold, and release. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. So what did you guys think? Did that help you kind of relieve your anxiety a little bit? Or?
Yeah, it was nice.
Good, okay. And that's something, if you'd like, we can start off our group with, just so that we start more positive and you all feel a little bit more relaxed. So I want to start off with us getting to know each other. And I want to do that in something called dyads. So we're going to split off into pairs, and maybe you two here, and then you two here. And what we're going to do is give your name, and then one thing that makes you the most anxious, and one thing that makes you the most relaxed. And then we'll come back together, and I'll have you introduce your peer.
Hi.
Do you start?
Relax is when I just spend time with them.
Okay. So Olivia, relax being with your family, and something that makes you anxious.
When I'm waiting in a doctor's office,
Yeah.
it's the most relaxing thing. I just
Okay.
have my family.
Oh, yeah. My name is
Just
Martin,
waiting.
and something
Yeah.
that very anxious is
Nice to meet
leukemia too, and traveling. Maybe that is.
Alright, looks like everybody's finished. How about we start over here with you? Introduce Olivia, or your group member, Olivia, and also state one thing that makes her the most relaxed.
Okay. She's Olivia, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Something that relaxes her is to spend time with her family.
Okay, nice.
This is Martin, and one thing that relaxes him is traveling.
Nice, okay. Those are great things to share that you all enjoy to do that helps you release your anxiety. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we'll start here.
This is Candace. One thing that makes her the most relaxed is spending time with her family.
So it sounds like we have some things in common with
Yeah.
spending
Family.
time with our family.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Lindsay, and I remember that you said that the one thing that made you really relax was spending time with your family, and you sounded a little anxious. So I don't remember what the other thing was, but the other.
Yeah, the other when I feel the most anxious is when I wonder about what is going to happen when I'm gone, like what my family has to go through. So.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So we all have really in common just that we like spending time with our family, and that kind of helps our anxiety. So that's something maybe we can you can all relate to and talk about. And
Usually I travel with my family, so
okay,
basically it's the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
it's nice.
spend-
It's nice to see that everybody else
Good.
kind of has that common, way
Yeah.
to relieve
good.
stress.
Kind of see that you're all going through the same.
Mhm.
Candace, I notice you're kind of shifting and feeling a little uncomfortable. What is your comfort level like right now?
I guess I'm just really, really nervous. I don't know. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
I don't know everybody, and
Mhm.
I'm really kind of uncomfortable. I don't know.
Well, thank you for sharing that. It can be a very nerve-wracking experience to be a part of a new group and not know anybody and be sharing these things. So that's brave of you to share that. And I hope that as we continue, you can feel a little bit more comfortable. But that was good that you opened up about that. So thank you. Okay. So now that we know a little bit more about each other, I want to move on into why we're here and the purpose of the group. So this is a therapy group, and we are here for all of you to offer and also receive support and encouragement, like I mentioned before, but also to give you a chance to express your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to the diagnosis that you have just experienced, and also the anxiety that kind of coincides with that.
Mhm.
And so we're here to give you an opportunity to share those feelings and also support each other, and maybe learn some techniques as well that might help you in relieving that anxiety. And also talk about how this diagnosis is affecting your lives. And my role as the facilitator will be just to offer questions and help everyone to be involved, as well as offer activities like I mentioned, and just facilitate the discussion overall. Your role was just to come here and to be honest and open, like you shared, Candace, earlier, just to be honest with how you're feeling, and we all really appreciate that, I'm sure. And I am here simply to facilitate that honesty and that openness for you. So the structure of our meetings, just so that you all are aware, is that it's going to be on Wednesdays, because that is the time that we all decided beforehand that would be best, at 5 o'clock. It's going to be a 6-week group, but if we decide at the end of the 6 weeks that we would like to continue, that you all need more time for that closure and termination process, then we can continue. And like I mentioned, termination is something that is real and that will happen. So it's important that we, talk about it throughout the process and what that will look like for us. So I want to make sure each of you are comfortable with that as well. As far as our meeting time, if schools are closed, then due to weather or something like that, then we won't have our meeting. So that's an easy way to kind of remember that. If you do have any question as to whether we'll have our meeting a specific day, then you can just let me know. You'll have my card with my contact information. So do we have any questions about that before we move on?
Is anybody allowed to come into the group? Because I just get nervous, if this is going to be the core group or if people are just going to be coming and going.
Yeah, good question, Lindsay. This is a closed group, so we won't be having anyone else come in. That'll also help you guys release your anxiety, I'm sure, and not feel like you don't know what to expect every time you come here.
Right.
So just so that we know what to expect and that we all progress together, we will keep it closed.
I like that.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. So I want to continue with some group rules, and this will also create structure for our group. The first thing I want to mention is confidentiality. Have you all heard of that term? Are you familiar with it? Okay, pretty well. Well, I want to mention that everything you say in this group will be kept confidential. Like you said, you were kind of worried about others knowing. So if we can all keep that confidentiality, and rest assured that nothing you say will leave this room or our group. And also, confidentiality includes my duty to warn. I have the duty to warn if I hear abuse to the elderly, handicapped, or children. I also have the duty to report if you mention any harm to yourself or others. Does anyone have any questions about that? The next rule that I want to have in our group is just respect. And I think we can all really appreciate respect and when someone respects us. And I want everyone to feel comfortable in sharing and to feel as though they won't be laughed at or judged. So if we can all respect each other, I think that would make it a more open environment for sharing. So I also want to make it a rule and encourage you all to look at each other when you talk as well. I think it really helps people connect better when they're making eye contact, and it makes somebody feel important and as though what they're saying is very meaningful. So those are all the rules that I have. Is there anybody that wants to share a rule that we can add to our list?
Maybe not bringing cell phones or avoid texting when we are here.
Okay. So maybe just keeping our media and cell phones out of the group and not texting. And I think that also goes along with respect too.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, Martin. Anybody else have a rule that they would like to add? No? Okay.
Well, I guess I have a question. Are we going to definitely end on time? Because I'll need to let the babysitter know if not.
Yes.
So,
That would actually be a good rule to add, Candace. Thank you for mentioning that. I do respect your time, and so I will be ending on time every week. And so that also reminds me that I would like all of you to be on time to start out the group. And that will help us to be able to end on time as well. So that also kind of ties along with respect and just respecting each other's time. So thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else? Okay. All right. I want to move on to a round exercise. I want to check in with you all and check and see where your anxiety levels are at as we kind of begin. And so I would like you to give me the rate of your anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the least anxious you've ever been and 10 being the most anxious you've ever been. And with that number, I would like you to share an expectation that you have for the group. And so I would like to start with Martin here.
Yeah, I think I'm around 6. And yes, I'm feeling better even since when I arrived. And one expectation that I have is hard for me because I'm a father, husband, and it's hard for me to have cancer. And the expectation I have is to feel better and also to accept that my family is going to be okay.
So you said you're feeling about a 6. You're feeling better since you've been in the group. So that's a positive thing. That's very good. And that you just want to help your family to feel better in kind of ways. Maybe we can kind of give you some ways to kind of
something like that.
Good. That's definitely a realistic expectation to have. So thank you for sharing. Olivia?
I think about an 8. I think I'll just I think what I'd like to learn are some coping skills. The breathing exercise seemed to help, and just learn some other coping skills.
Okay. So you're about an 8, so pretty high. You're feeling very anxious right now. And you'd like to learn some coping skills that you can kind of take home for when you start to feel anxious during the week. And that's definitely a realistic expectation. It's something that we will definitely be doing, teaching you how you can utilize the different things, like the breathing exercise, for instance, that we did, so that you can help yourself during the week when you start to feel anxious. So that's a great expectation. Thank you for sharing that.
I guess I'm definitely at a 9 because especially today, today I was at my kid's school and they told me, one of the teachers told me that my daughter started talking about my diagnosis to everyone, which just makes me super anxious. And so then the teacher just like shut her down, and then went to this
Okay,
huge
Lindsay,
thing.
I'm gonna
and it
have
was
to
just-
interrupt. I just want to make sure that we stay on track and that we respect everyone's time. And I want to make sure I get one specific expectation that you have, so that we can really work on that. And so, what is one thing maybe that you kind of expect from getting from this group specifically?
I guess maybe just like some advice. Like, I know you guys said you have kids, and like just mine is a really new recent diagnosis, so maybe just figuring out like how to work with your kids when it's new and fresh
Okay.
and raw.
Okay. So just kind of learning how to work with your children and kind of releasing that information to them and helping them get through it as
The
well.
initial process.
Yeah, the initial process. Can you clarify what your anxiety level was for me?
It was a 9, yeah.
A 9, so pretty high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
Alright. And Candace?
I think I'm with Lindsay. I think I'm probably at a 9 right now myself. And my kids don't know about my diagnosis. I just got diagnosed almost 2 weeks ago. So I don't really know how to tell them. So I'm kind of with both of you because I need to like figure out how to talk to them and how to educate them and not scare them, but empower them.
Right.
But also in turn, I need coping skills from me because I'm just so anxious all the time.
So you said you're pretty high up there on the scale as well, and that you really want to, like Lindsay, you're really afraid to tell your children, and that's a very difficult process, I'm sure, to let them know something so life changing. So maybe you guys can kind of work together on that and relate with that.
You go first.
Yeah.
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 Let me know how it works.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that someone is going through the same thing as you, isn't it? Yeah. I think you all have shared some common themes as well throughout. And you also mentioned, like Olivia, that you'd like to learn some coping skills. So that's something that we'll really focus on in our future sessions together. So thank you for sharing that, Candace. All right. So what I'd like to do now is to do an activity, and this is going to be a coloring sheet of a human body, and I'll pass these out to you all. What I'd like to do is, there you go, there's 2. Is give you a choice of colors and select a color that represents your anxiety the best. You can pass that around. And then I would like you to color in a body part where you feel the most anxious, or where whatever body part is affected the most by your anxiety. And then when we come back together, we will share. Looks like everybody's finished. Alright, this time, let's start with you.
Okay, here's my drawing. Every time I am becoming like really, really anxious, I start sweating my hands and my feet here and my forehead. So it's like I start sweating a lot. So I think that the anxiety starts there.
It starts where you kind of sweat the most,
Yeah.
and that really affects you as well. What does the blue represent for you?
I don't know, maybe water?
Okay.
It's like
So it kind of relates to the sweating and
Yeah,
stuff like
it's-
that. Okay, thank you for sharing that.
water.
Olivia?
I used red for fire or hot. It just feels like a burning in my, I think my stomach and my heart are about the same. Burning in my stomach and my heart races really bad. And,
So the red is like a burning sensation for you almost. It's like burning in your heart and your stomach both.
yeah, and then my heart races a lot, and sometimes I think that I'm worse than someone else. I just don't know. I don't know anyone else that's worse than I am with. I mean, I'm just so feeling this so much right now.
And I hear you saying that you feel as though no one else might be worse than you. And I want to kind of give you some comfort in knowing that I've done many groups with anxiety, and I've asked these same questions. And Candace, I noticed that there's a few people that are distracted, and I just want to mention our rule for as far as like bringing your phones in and texting and things like that. Just to respect others, and just because I want you to get the most out of this group as well, I'd like to ask you to put it away and for the remainder of the group, if you don't mind. Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. I just want to make sure that everyone is getting the most out of it and that you don't miss something really important. So thank you. As I was saying, Olivia, I've done many groups, and I've had many people express the same things, and they've had even worse anxiety on the scale from 1 to 10, and they've made it through, and they're doing very well. And so I want to, if that gives any hope to you, I want to just share that with you, because you did mention feeling kind of hopeless almost.
Thank you. That helps to know that everyone else can feel the same way, and I can have hope that this group will help.
Thank you for sharing that. Lindsay?
I did a bunch of colors, 2 different color green and 1 yellow, just like knots in my stomach. Like I feel physical symptoms as well as like, theoretically, like I just feel so, everything's up in arms, and I am just really all over the place, I guess. So physical symptoms is I get stomach aches, and what it really means to me is that like I just don't really know what to do. Like I just feel so sick from it.
So that green and yellow kind of represents a sick feeling in your stomach.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay. So I want to just kind of check in with each of you and see what are some things that you have been having issues with. What are some things that you would like to address in our groups? But before we do that, I want to get to Candace. I'm sorry. We went the other way this time. So I want to get to you. So just be thinking about that as we get to our next topic. And I would like you to share your coloring sheet.
I picked that red. And I think, Olivia, you had red? Yeah. So anytime that I have a lot of stress, I carry like stress in the left side of my neck and my shoulder for some reason. Just the one side.
Too.
Weird. Yeah. But also because I've been having headaches and stuff with like medication changes and all that. I had the knots in the stomach also, so it's kind of odd that you had the same thing.
Okay, so the red kind of represents just like the knots in your neck, and you have trouble with that in your stomach as well. Kind of relate to Lindsay there. Okay, things like that. Okay, thank you for sharing that. And I want to go around in our circle, like I said. And
I just have like, I'm sorry, it's just kind of bothering me. I don't know why, but I'm just a little worried like that. I don't want you to take this wrong, but like, how do you know what we're going through? Like, have you ever even been through anything like this before? Like, I'm just so defensive because I just feel so like there's no way anyone would understand. So like, what makes you qualified to understand what we're going through?
Absolutely, and that's definitely a valid concern. And I thank you for being so honest and for sharing that concern. I know some of you nodded your heads. You might be thinking the same thing. So I'd like to share with you, I was recently diagnosed, not recently, but I was diagnosed a couple of years ago with cancer, and when I went through that recent diagnosis, I also had trouble with some of the same things that you all are expressing. And I remember going through that process, and it became a passion of mine to help other individuals. I feel like it's something that I can do and share empathy in, and so that is why I began this group here at my agency. And also, I've been trained in groups, and I've done some research and have some evidence-based practices that I am going to share with you all. Things that will help you with your anxiety. Like you said, you wanted some tools to take home with you. And just things that will have proven to help others with anxiety. So if that gives you any comfort.
Yeah, that makes me feel better through it, because then we can talk at our level.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that you all are so open already to share. And that's a really good sign that I believe we're all going to be comfortable enough to really get deep into our emotions and share the things that we need to share to work through this together. Like I said, I wanted to go around and kind of get an idea of some things that you all want to talk about in future sessions. Martin, I noticed that you haven't said as much, so I want to give you an opportunity to start us off. And is there anything that's really concerning you?
Yeah, as I said, it's my family and the way they already know. I mean, my wife knows, but not my kids. So in some way, I need some tools, because it's hard to see your kids and say, maybe I'm gonna die. Even they don't know even what is death about. So maybe I need some ways to approach that moment, which is gonna be soon.
It sounds like you're feeling worried.
Yeah, I'm feeling worried about them. Basically, not about me. I don't have. I mean, if I have to die, it's okay, but not for my kids.
Okay, so you're really worried about your kids,
Yeah.
and I know Lindsay and Candace also mentioned that worry.
Yeah.
It sounds like something maybe we can bring some different things into this group that will allow you guys to talk to your children about it and how children kind of process this. We can talk about those types of things. Is that something that might?
Yeah.
Is that what you?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you for sharing that. So, Olivia, would you like to?
I think the same thing for me. I'm not so concerned. I'm older than most everyone in the group, I think, and I'm not so concerned about my daughter understanding, but my little 3.5-year-old granddaughter, because she's been like another child to me. I've been with her since she was born, and how do you explain, that? And I think I need some help with, explaining
So along
to a
the same-
child. There's, I haven't. It's not for my small children, but it's for my small grandchild.
Okay. So along the same lines of what Martin was saying, just how children process something so heavy to understand, and how we can tell them in a healthy way that will help them understand and not have anxiety as well about the situation. So, okay, we'll definitely bring some tools in that we can work on that.
I guess my concern is, like, I don't know, my family, we always say this term, like, that we feel up in arms. And I just don't know how to get over it. Like, I don't know, like, what to do to make life seem normal again after my diagnosis. So.
Can you clarify for me what you mean by up in arms?
Yeah, I guess just, like, chaos. Like, I just feel like there's no order. Like, my kids found out in a really bad way. Like, they overheard me talking to their father, and it wasn't something that we were able to do. So, like, they're really badly dealing with it. And then, obviously I'm trying to deal with the diagnosis on my own and what's going to happen to them when I'm gone and if I'm gone. So it's just, like, chaotic. My life is just crazy. So.
Okay, so in up in arms, it's just really chaotic, and there's a lot going on in your life. And
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
We can definitely work on those things as well. And Candace?
Well, my diagnosis is not a terminal diagnosis. So I don't know what y'all's diagnosis looks like and what the treatment course looks like, if there is one. But for me, like, just I'm already getting sick I've been sick. That's what led to going to the doctor and finding out what's going on. So just like learning how to comfort the kids when they see me really sick, and not like put it off on them where they feel like they're responsible for making mommy feel better, but trying to just talk to them about how what's going on affects them and how they feel, and make them understand that they can be free to talk to me and not have to handle it.
Okay, so again, positive ways of talking to your children about it.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. I'll keep that in mind for next time. So our time is coming to a close. I want to respect everyone's time and close, like we said, like we made in our rule. And I want to, before we leave, go around and check everybody's anxiety level as it is now in this present moment. So again, on our same scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being no anxiety at all, and 10 being the most anxious you've ever been, I'd like everyone to just give me their scaling number.
I start?
Sure, Mark.
Okay. Between 3 and 4.
Okay, so
I'm
you've gone
feeling
down.
even better.
So yours has gone down even more. That's
Yes.
great. Olivia?
I would say about a 6, so it's
Good.
gone down some.
Great to hear.
I was at a 9, so I think I'm definitely around like a 7. Like not a huge jump, but I'm feeling better.
But it's progress.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm probably like a 5.
Great.
I'm kind of surprised.
That's good.
Didn't
A
expect
good
that.
surprise, yeah. So everyone's kind of gone down, and do you think that maybe it's from hearing about your other group members to kind of talk about the same struggles that you're going through?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that we can all find strength in common struggles. So that's my hope, that we will all be encouraged by each other through each group session. So now I just want to take a moment to summarize everything. And we've talked about our group rules and what my role is, what your role is. Also, what the structure of our meeting is going to be like. We've also laid some ground rules for our group, and you all have done well in respecting each other and maintaining all of those. We've also talked about just the commonality that you all have of wanting to be able to talk to your children about this diagnosis. And Martin, you said something that really stood out, and it was that you want your children to really understand it, and you told your wife, but it's very hard to take that next step. And so maybe we can all bring some tools next time to help you all do that, and we can go through that together.
Yeah.
Is that something that everyone kind of agrees on that direction?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. I'd like to thank you all for coming today, and I will see you next week.
Thank you.
That's good.